Hello there everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We are on the Raid Shadow Legends test server right now, and the Fortus buff, the Fortus fix, is live on the test server and should be coming to the game then as well, I would think, within the next couple of days. We want to find out here, right now, in today's video, is this a BADron level buff? Basically, they have buffed the damage of this A3. Is it a BADron level buff, or does this champion still kind of suck? It's quite intriguing. So we're actually going on a journey of discovery together. So let's do this thing. Right, what I want to do, we are going to actually, let me show you how I built Fortus, and we are going to be changing this build. We are going to be completely changing this build during this video because I no longer think this is how I would build him. This is how I built him, and the reason we're doing this is so we can compare when I was first on the test server. Right, this was the last test server. I did a collab with YST at the time, and this was how I built Fortus on that test server. These were the stats, right? So we've tried to replicate that as close as I can. So full stone skin. We've got a little less defense and crit damage, but it's basically as close as I could get. So he's gonna hit, slightly weaker, but I think you'll still see that it shows us some of the very clear changes that have been made. So I hope you guys don't mind. And yeah, we're gonna be comparing directly the damage he does now to the damage he did on that previous test server, because it's very indicative. We're not going to see it there. We're going to see it over here. So this is the first thing that I want to do. I want to just get a ballpark. So let's go in here. We're going to take it off manual. We're actually using the new fusion in this as well. So we're actually going to open with our A2, and we're just going to get a sample test, increase defense. So it ups Fortus's damage. Whatever you do doesn't matter. You can do this. That's fine. All right, good. You can just A1 here. We're going to let these true fears fall off intentionally. We're going to get something to compare it to, which is his A2. So he doesn't have 100% crit rate, so just look out for the crits here, and we'll take a note. Bam. So about 23,000 is roughly speaking what I would see. I think he almost crit all of them there. So we've got our comparison point. His A2, 23k. And we know that that is a 3.8 times defense multiplier, okay? That is a 3.8 times defensive multiplier. Let's go. Let's see how hard then his old A3 was hitting. So I actually have this noted up here. So at 643, let's go to this. This is how hard he used to hit. So we come in here to 632. This is the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong example. 1128. That's the one I want. Where are we at? I was like, that's not the same wave. 1128. Okay. So we come in here. He's going in. So again, you can see, we can see the scenario here. We don't have any true fears out. So that's the first thing we want to compare, right? His A3, when we look at it, it does ignore defense. 30% on targets under fear, true fear. So the first thing we're comparing is the hit without any fears or true fears. And we're comparing it to that sample of 23k. How hard does it hit? It hits for about 10,500, okay? So, Drake Wave A3, 10.5k. All right, compare that to the A2. And a 3.8 multiplier is a good, it's a decent multiplier for a nuke, but it's nothing crazy. So needless to say, 10.5k is pretty miserable. Let's see it now on the new test server. So we're going to manipulate the wave the exact same way. And again, we're looking for the crits, right? We're looking for crits. We don't care about anything else. So we're going to manipulate it the exact same way. We're going to hopefully unlock the secret skill. So we're going to true fear them all right here. Increase defense. We've missed one true fear, so we'll try to place it on right there. There we go. I guess it doesn't actually matter. We could just A1 right here. There we are. They're sleeping through their turns. That's fine. And here we go. Okay. So ignore the guy with the true fear on for now. Look at the other ones. We'll look for a crit. How hard does this hit right now? About 27 to 28k. I think that was 30k. This guy obviously got it for more. So it was about 28k now. So the new test server, if we take Drake Wave A3, we put that in there, we just hit for about 28k. This is quite exciting then, isn't it? This is quite exciting. I didn't actually see how hard we hit that guy, so we'll come back and do that in a second. So let's do it. Let's actually run that again, because I missed how much damage he just got hit for. But it's quite a substantial increase from the other one. So this time we're going to open with this. Okay, I think we can just leave it on auto at this point. Here we go. Lord of Terrors going out. Throwing out more fears, so it doesn't even matter. More fears, but they already have it on. Astral Tears. It's about the same sort of thing there. It's about 28k. We hit about the same. We did hit about the same. In fact, we can come in and check. So he did 154. Yeah, divide that by 5. It's doing about 30k, just over 30k on average. So something like that. 28k, 30k, something along that line. But the point of comparison, the thing we need to know is that it's doing almost 3 times as much damage. Not quite 3 times as much, but close to 3 times as much damage as it was doing before on that first hit. And importantly, whereas before it was totally eclipsed by its A2, it is now doing actually a decent chunk more, maybe about 25% more damage, maybe even 30% more damage almost than this, which is a 3.8 multiplier. So this is where things start to get interesting, and this is why we might switch up his build, but there's more to the testing. But that is a big buff, right? 3.8 is like an okay damage multiplier. We look at this, and we say that this could be more like 4 or a 5 almost multiplier. That is getting much, much juicier. And of course, need to be very clear about this, that we don't have him in Savage, right? We do not have him in Savage right now. And ignore defense. The more that you stack, the stronger it becomes. So this has potential to scale really high. It's part of why BADron hits so hard. On top of that, the damage of the skill increases by 10% every time a fear or true fear debuff is placed on an enemy. So this damage is just going to keep scaling up and up and up. Let me show you the scaling, because there's more interesting stuff here. There is more interesting. So what we have our video from YouTube. Here it is. Video from YouTube. This is from the initial test, okay? And what I did was I've taken, and we're going to compare the first hit in the entire run to the final hit on that first wave. And then we're also going to look at the last hit on round 3, on the third wave of a Doom Tower run, okay? So we're going to jump to 634. I already showed you this one by accident. So here we go in. We're against this wave. We'll see how hard this first hit hits. And bam, there we go. We can see against this Sir Nicholas is a great test subject. 25k against Sir Nicholas. Maybe more like 22k in the other one. So somewhere in between, 22, 25k. All right. 22k to 25k on that. If we jump to the final hit on wave 1, so that's at 730. So now it's going to be scaling up, right? It's going to be scaling up. So here we go. So we've got the Sir Nikolai's alive again. And that one didn't have fear on, but this one did. He did 59,000. So you can already see that scaling in effect, right? The first hit of his A3 before did 22k, did almost nothing. It jumped up, it almost doubled it. It more than doubled its damage, in fact, on the final hit. And then we come to the final hit of the entire run, which was, 10 minutes and 20 seconds in. And let's look at this. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Here he goes. This is a big hit, guys. Boom. Boom. So he didn't crit all of them. We can see he crit Sifi for 157,000. He crit the Sir Nicholas for 174,000. All right. 174k damage. Big damage. Real big damage. So if we make this maybe a bit more clear. Here we go. Here we go. Great. Big damage. What does it look like now? How does it scale up now? So it starts off hitting harder, but how does it scale up? So if we come across here, and you can see that now we're against the same waves, and this is his first hit here coming in. We've got fears out, and there we go. We got 32k on that Sir Nicholas, 35k there. So we'll say, actually, sorry, that was 28k on Sir Nicholas. So 29 to 35,000, right? So the first one was 29k to 35k. So it's doing more. It's doing a good chunk more. What about the final hit on wave 1? That is 205 into the video. And obviously there's some slightly different, scaling and stuff, but it should still give us a really good idea. Here we go. We're 2 minutes and 4 seconds in. He's about to take his turn. Astral Tear, here it goes. Kaboom. They both have fear. He has increased defense, 41 to 46,000. So this is where things are getting spicy, huh? Oh, Plarium is up to some tricks, guys. What do you think? So we started off hitting harder, but it's not scaled as high. Now, of course, there could be some different scaling and stuff like that. But both of these runs end up being, and I can show you, very similar times. Now, if we come to the final hit, which is 5 minutes and 30 into this video, so we come, it's near the end here, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're coming up to our final hit here. We've increased defense. True Fear is out. Here he goes. Boom. 84.6k. All right. 84, let's say 84k. So this is really interesting to me. Now, this is limited testing, but it seems to me, and we come through, like, we were ending this at about 170 turns. Now, obviously, like, the fears and stuff are random, and that can definitely affect things, but about 112 turns, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. If we look at this sample, where do we end? 114 turns, 5 minutes 56, but like 114 turns versus 112 turns. I'm not 100% sure. It's hard to be. We need to do more testing, but it certainly appears to me that the damage, the baseline damage, starts higher. In fact, it starts significantly higher, substantially higher, but the scaling is definitely weaker, right? The scaling definitely seems to be weaker. So it's like, is it a buff? Is it a nerf? Ooh, it's interesting. Certainly what I will say is, because scaling is not as important, I built him super tanky. So let's actually go in. Let's change up his build. Let's get this guy in Savage, and let's see how hard he can smack, right? Let's do it, because, of course, he has basically a cheat death on his passive, right? Every 4 turns, he survives the fatal hit, cleanses himself, and then fully heals himself, although depleting his turn meter, putting himself to sleep, you know. But nonetheless, right, he's got a cheat death, so we can leave him without Stone Skin. He doesn't need Stone Skin to stay alive. He's got like a super duper swift parry set built in, basically, to his passive. Let's use that. Let's rebuild him. Let's see what we can do. So I'll be right back. Let's throw him in Savage, and then let's see how hard he hits. All right, guys, so we are back. We have switched him into a lethal set. He's now ignoring 25% enemy defense. So when we stack that up with the A3, he should be ignoring 55% defense. Of course, I don't think I showed his masteries yet, but with Helm Smasher, we take that 55, add another 25% defense ignore. He's going up to 80% ignore defense, which I think is really, really solid. Let me see. I think I do have, yeah, okay. We have your Carl. This is a good point of comparison. Your Carl with about 6k attack, 250% crit damage. Savage, we can compare your Carl here. Do I still have gear on BADron on the test server? I was messing around with some stuff. I do. We can give him maybe some attack boots. Yeah, let's give him some attack boots to really compare. Like for like. Here we go. I probably don't have any that are super good. Let me see. So if we throw this on, here we go. Enough crit rate? Yeah, what about this? Loses too much. Okay. So we'll go with this. There we go. So yeah. Okay, 6k attack. This should be a good comparison. BADron versus, yeah, so let's do it. Right. Here we go. Let's do it. We're doing it live, guys. We are doing it live. Let's do it. Diving in. What we're going to do, take her out. So first of all, let us establish a test case. We'll actually use Arbiter, and we'll use, of course, actually our new fusion. Where is she? There she is. New fusion. And let's slap in your Carl. So test case. We're not going to use decreased defense. We don't want to do that. So let's go in. We're going to speed boost. So we stay ahead. Perfect. These are all void champions, so affinity doesn't matter. Increase attack on your Carl. These are the enemies. He's going to come in and smack. Boom. About, 30k, 50k. So 30 to 50,000. 30 to 50,000 right there. 181 total. All right. Let's do the almost exact same team. Let's do recently used. Take these out. You, and BADron. Lovely. He's actually recently used. Very convenient. We do the same thing with BADron. How hard does BADron hit? Remember, if BADron procs Helm Smasher, he ignores 100% defense. He's got increased attack. Here we go. BADron, it's substantially harder. There was like 168,000 right there. Something absolutely nuts. He's really overcapped the damage, 364k. Let's see what we can do with Fortus. So we take him out. We'll put in the Arbiter. Can Okay, this is I guess one downside is that this is a lot more awkward because we need to go first. So we speed boost. Arbiter will speed boost again. I just wasn't sure if she'd get around to the True Fear on time. Put increased defense on him, which obviously ups his damage. Ooh, we need to throw the True Fear. We might have some affinity issues here. We do have some. Okay, good. Never mind. She is fast enough. So we get the True Fears out on everyone. True Fears on everyone. How hard will Fortus hit now? We have him in Savage. Boom. 80, 45k, 80k. Not bad. Not bad. So he's definitely... I think it's in a... what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? 283k overall. What do we think? What do we think? It seems to be, I think, in a pretty reasonable spot for balance. We're going to test him out in Arena in a second. Initial thoughts. So he hits harder, significantly harder than Yakarl, right? So Yakarl coming in, 5.8k attack, about 250% crit damage, Savage. He's booked up, hitting with this nuke. It's not the biggest nuke in the game, but it's a solid nuke. Fortus is definitely hitting noticeably harder than that. Now, obviously, he doesn't hit as hard as BADron, but understandably so. BADron ignores more defense. He's an attack-based nuker, right? He's got no defenses at all. He's super squishy. He obviously should hit much harder. The only thing is, of course, that there is a bit of awkwardness to arranging this. The damage scales up as well. Bear that in mind. The damage scales up, but there's awkwardness because you need to unlock this skill, and to ignore the defense and to get a guaranteed crit, you need Fear or True Fear. It's pretty interesting, though. There's some potential. Let me throw together an Arena team, and let's see what we can do. Right, I'll throw together something. We're probably going to be completely outgeared by that guy. Let's see. MTG Jedi. That's not... He doesn't have a damage dealer in. Deadwood has a new team. That was really fun. Right, let me throw together something. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so this is the team we put together. We're going to try it out. Let's see if it works. There's definitely some upside, some downside to this team. So what do we have going on here? Well, it's a little bit tricky, right? It's tricky. So with Fortus, we want to get Fears out there. So we need someone that brings Fears. But we also, of course, need the enemy not to have block debuffs and not to cleanse those debuffs off. And that's where this definitely gets tricky. And we want to get increased defense on him as well, so he hits harder. So it's all quite tricky. So what I've done, we brought in Mithrala with an accuracy aura. And Mithrala, I think, is going to be a really good source of increased defense. And with cleansing us as well, and strengthening and shielding us, with Fortus being so tanky, she has also the opportunity to cleanse off that sleep from him, to keep him alive. He can take some hits. He should, in fact, take a lot of hits with increased defense strengthen. He's a tanky boy. He doesn't have any resistance, really, so she's going to help with that too. We'll see how this works. It could be strong. We've got Madame Ceres, Mithrala's in Stone Skin. We've got Madame Ceres in Stone Skin. So she is slow, but has good, fairly decent accuracy, and she is going to hopefully strip the buffs off, leave them open to True Fear. And that's sort of round one, right? I'll talk about our fourth champion in a second, but round one, we sort of hope that we're either going to get a cleanse from Elva or from Mithrala. Then Madame is going to strip their buffs, and Fortus, round one, is probably going to come in and attempt to True Fear them. Now, he's got 365 accuracy. He's getting bonus from Mithrala. That might not quite work. So that's one concern. We might want to be building him with like more accuracy, potentially with more crit rate. We're just going to test it out and see together. Round two then, Mithrala, if she cleansed round one, is going to give us increased defense for the nuke. Hopefully Fortus, with this, will have procced his own passive. If not, we have another chance for True Fear with Madame Ceres here. So we'll see if that works. I don't know. We'll find out. Then we also have got a new champion. This is Elva Autumnborn, who I'm very excited about. She's coming in. She does have a team cleanse with block debuffs, increased speed. She has a revive, single target, that does put increased defense on an ally. She has continuous heals on her A1, healing basically every time an ally starts a turn, and Perfect Veil, whoever has the lowest HP at the end of her turn. So I guess it's percentage based, otherwise she might Veil Fortus. She's also in Stone Skin. Fortus is the only one who's not, but we're relying on his passive. Let's give it a go. This looks super... I mean, it's a +4 C-Fee. This is it's probably a bad example, right? +4 C-Fee. I'm just going to lose. Same with these guys. This is a more reasonable team, he said sarcastically. It's not. I was thinking they don't have as much... There's no C-Fee. See, the problem is, right? The problem is, the reason I'm as well, not only the +4, but C-Fee with their passive can remove fears. Let's try this team right here. Can we survive the Baron? Let's find out. Let's do it. Here we go. Here we go. So this team, there's no empowered champions. Let's take it off auto and let's see what happens. Let's go. So we do have the BADron risk, but of course Fortus can survive with his passive. We've got the block debuffs from her. She's not in Stone Skin. My bad. She is actually in... she's actually in immunity or something like that. Whoops. Right, let's remove all the debuffs. Put block debuffs and speed on them. There we go. Fantastic. All right. We could give us increased defense. I suppose there's no reason really not to. Prepare to up the damage. A hit comes in, but we take it. Never mind. We get killed by BADron. Of course we get killed by BADron. The shield wouldn't have protected. The defense wouldn't have protected. So that didn't work at all. Fortus himself survived. So that was cool. But not super useful, huh? Let's refresh again. I do still feel like it's going to be awkward. We can hit the Deadwood team for fun. Okay, this team. We could hit this team. Right, let's see if this one on auto. We'll go through it a bit faster. Again, Sifi is such a problem, though, guys. Like, Sifi is such a problem. And all these guys that you're going to be facing in high-level arena are going to have Sifi. They're just going to have her. That's a big hit right there. That hurts for sure. We're kind of getting a little bit ripped apart. We get some of the shielding on, and that's kind of nice. We'll strip their buffs. And Fortus did his... He just did his A1. What happened there? Okay, we're still alive, so that's good. We are still alive. Okay. We've got some fears out there from her. Not many, but some. Fortus, he's going in with the A1 again. So we clearly need to set up some AI presets. Let's see how this goes first. Will he ever do a different move? I wonder if it's the Stone Skin that's messing him up. That does mess with AI of some... Okay, now Stone Skin is gone, but there's block debuffs everywhere. Is Fortus like, yes, now is my chance? Yes, he is. He's like, this is perfect. Perfect. Everyone's got block debuffs on, but Stone Skin is gone. Now is the time for the true fear. Now is the time to make it happen. We're doing better against this team. We're up against someone with more our gear level, but I guess Sifi just remains that issue. She does remain the issue. We're getting lots of healing from Elva. She's doing a good job. But that initial round did not go the way that we wanted it to. Big hit comes in. He's smacking us, but we're tanking it up pretty well. Hopefully we get a strip. We get the strip right there. Fortus, unfortunately, is very slow. We've got Hex out. That could be a difference maker. Because, yeah, again, Sifi is just sort of a big problem. So I think it's an issue. I think Harvest Jack could work as well. Harvest Jack could be an option. He brings you some buff stripping and some fear. I feel like it is just kind of difficult. Let's try a completely different style team. We get an idea for how this one works. I tell you what, let's do this one again one more time. Because there was some potential there. Who was that we were fighting? Was that Layla? No. It was Ivy's team. Yeah, okay. So if we do the same thing, but let's make Mithrala do like this. Let's set up some strict AI presets. So always do your secret skill first. That's what we want to see. And do your fear. If not, you are good. And you can do these things. Okay, there we go. Great. So she's going to do her revive. We didn't even get to see her do her revive. Maybe this time. So let's see. Fortus actually does the right moves and tries to land the true fear after the Madame strips. Now, we could speed tune them in a bit tighter together. So increased defense is out. Big hits. That definitely hurts. Please don't kill us, actually. That would be bad. Okay, she's cleansed off Fortus. That's good. We've got the Veil on Madame. And Fortus himself can't really die. There we go. Yeah, actually, that was a big hit. He did 90k to Hegemon. The other champions are much tankier. You can see against the tankier champions didn't hit that hard. I don't know if he crit them. We got one fear out. There's some more fears. Okay, we've got a chance now. Fortus, show us what you can do. That's a big hit. Okay, that was 130k damage against her, about 80k against Ultimate Death Knight, and his A1 just hit Sifi for about 47k. That's not too bad then, is it? That is not too bad. The A1 hitting for 40k. Okay, so like, as a defensive nuker who can take a hit, it's certainly, he's raising my interest, guys. I don't know. It's such a weird one. He's gone in again. You can see he doesn't have enough accuracy to land the true fear himself on Ultimate Death Knight or her. We stripped them off, but block debuffs. It's still awkward. It's still very awkward, and the Sifi is a big problem. But it is intriguing. Oh, she's going to revive everyone. Oh my god. We're going to be here for 10 years is what it looks like. I didn't see if he got his secret skill. Let's see. Let's give him one more chance to do it, and then I will take a break. It might be worth building him as well. He got Astral Tears. Yeah, look at that. 66k against the Sifi. He's ramping up as well. Like, because, I mean, we're struggling to kill Sifi. We are. But they're also struggling to kill us, which is giving us a chance. It's giving us a chance. I'll come back at the end of this fight, but because I think we can win, but I don't want you to have to sit through. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. We eventually won. Eventually, he crit Sifi for 87k. He just one-shot Sifi. She wasn't feared. He just one-shot her at the end. So we can see there in terms of the damage, he's obviously our only source of damage. They weren't able to do too much. We've got pretty good healing out from Elva. It's not bad. Sifi is stronger, but Elva's not bad. It's interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, intriguing. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like Sifi cleansing fears is such a huge problem. So for end game, it's such a big problem. But lower levels, I think, could be really good. It could potentially be really good. Let's see against these new dudes. Let's come up with some sort of speed. This could actually work really well. We don't have an increased defense. He has no way to give it himself. So this is another issue, is that in terms of a speed team, I do think we've got an interesting combo here with Morrigan can come in and she can do the fears. So with her. So we got her to speed boost and give us fears. And Fortus can come in, he can benefit off those. We need some way to give him increased defense. So we could just ditch the buff. Do we need a buff stripper against this team? Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Ramantu is kind of cool because Ramantu does actually throw out AoE True Fear. Decent chance for AoE True Fear with this. I feel like this is a bit tricky. Sifi would be great. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's not use Ramantu. Let's use Kaimar for Speed Aura. So we do go first with the speed boosting. That's fine, and that's fine, that's fine. We need something to give us increased defense. I don't have a lot of very good increased defense champions, to be honest. Right, I tell you what. Let's throw in our boy Goffred. And Goffred, you're going to open with that, but you will, I think, priority 1 on Concuss. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So here we go. This is how this team is going to work. Let's set up the priorities because I've been burned too many times. Burned too many times. Open with that. Okay, good. Right, perfect. So this is how this team should work, right? Morrigan is the fastest. She comes in, speed boosts us, pushes them back. Kaimar sleeps them. Goffred puts on increased defense, which is truly a terrible use of a turn, but hey, it's okay. He puts on increased defense. He's got this passive to protect us if they do, break free as well. And then Fortus might get outsped by Morrigan. We're hoping that, like in the Doom Tower waves, that she will actually get around an AoE True Fear and he can nuke them. If that doesn't work, he will go first. He'll do his Horrors Beyond, hopefully, True Fear them. And then Morrigan will maybe do some buff stripping. Kaimar will then reset. And then Goffred, I think, will try to stun them to lock them down. Let's see how it works. So like a speed team built around this new stuff against 4 new champions. So we should definitely outspeed them because they have a smaller speed aura. They've got Stone Skin on 1. Okay, we've slept them. Increased defense. The new champion. Okay, the True Fear goes out. And boom. Pretty good nuke. Okay, they did get a revive off. Test server? Okay, wait. He was staying down. He's got it's a good hit on the A2 as well. Not bad, huh? I think that's kind of interesting. Now, the awkward thing is obviously we're putting in a lot to enable him. Like if you it's interesting. We're using a lot to enable him. We are. Huh. What do you guys think? Like we could, because his A2 does hit reasonably well. Yeah, I'm coming around to this guy. I am. Like his A2, he's void. His A2 does do a decent hit, and it does have a good chance to, it does True Fear. So building him with accuracy is good. You could build him kind of like a Soulless, right? Kind of like Soulless style with 100% crit rate, lower his damage, but build him with 100% crit rate, good accuracy. He's still gonna, land a certain amount of True Fears. He's still gonna do a good hit with this, and then if he ever does unlock this skill, Like maybe you just ignore the always critical thing. Build him with full crit rate, because this does just hit really hard. And if it ignores the defense, it's just a bonus. It is going to scale up and be good. And you put him in like a typical sort of soulless team. Did anyone have a typical sort of soulless style team comp? Which would be going in with something like, you know, going in with a Sifi, maybe a Madame, something like that. I don't know if anyone has like a soulless style team here, but he might actually work pretty well. It doesn't look like it in that sort of context. It could actually be pretty cool. Yeah, again, I do think the big issue is you kind of need a buff stripper. It's awkward to get the fears on. You do need a good increased defense champion. It's kind of the Sifi problem that he combos so well with Sifi because she's revive, increased defense, speed boosting, healing, all of that. She brings so much, and there's no other champion that really substitutes for her. That is awkward for building your team. Any defensive nuker, when you don't have Sifi, becomes much more difficult to use. Withier, I guess, also gives you increased defense. That could be a really good option. I unfortunately don't have a Withier, though, so I can't show that to you. Again, in this sort of team as well, he'd actually work really well. You put him in instead of Baron, and he's going to be pretty good. Ultimate Death Knight brings some fears, but they're, again, not super reliable. You don't have a buff strip is the issue, actually. So, again, it's awkward. It's awkward to fit him in. But there you go, guys. That's Fortus, the new Fortus. I think he is still very good for Doom Tower waves. So if you need a champ for Doom Tower waves, this is your guy. He rips through. He's super tanky. The passive keeps him alive. For Arena, I'm very much on the fence. Yeah. I think early mid game, I think he could be absolutely phenomenal. It could be really good. Later in the game, things get pretty dodgy. Because Sifi, really hard counters, block debuffs, really get in his way. But he's certainly one to watch. You know, if they add in like a reviver that brings fears and stuff like that, like it gets exciting. Like Morrigan, I think, adds a whole bunch of stuff to him because it's a speed booster that also has, you know, the AoE True Fear with some buff steals. I think that's really good. So the more champions they add with fears, the better this guy gets. There you go. That's what he does for now anyway. Hopefully a pretty decent investigation. I'll leave it up now to the other content creators to come up with more. I'm certainly intrigued to see what people with Sifi and all that can do, but Fortus, he's better. I do think he's better than he was before. The scaling is not as strong, but he's still plenty strong for Doom Tower waves, and the stronger starting A3 makes him much more viable for Arena, and I would certainly be building him in Lethal or Savage now. Let the passive keep him alive. And there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.